Hey everybody, this is No Bones About Wrestling. I am one of your hosts, Asa, and I'm going to be joined at some point by Fabulous. This, of course, we go over the happenings this week in AEW, and we'll look ahead a little bit towards Revolution, which is coming up in 4 days. Uh, so yeah, let's get right into it. AEW TV reports. We'll start with Dynamite, February 26th. Opened up with former world champ Hangman Adam Page, and he took on Aaron Solo. And this was Hangman Page in action match, which meant it was going to be a squash. That's what it was. Page pinned Solo and got the win. The next match was a bounty match, where if Brian Keith could beat Will Ospreay, Don Callis would pay some sort of bounty. Brian Keith was not able to do that, thankfully, and Will Ospreay pinned Brian Keith after hitting the Hidden Blade. This was an excellent match, maybe the best match that Keith has had since arriving in AEW. This one I'm going to give 4.5 bones out of 5. Very good match. Hey, what's up, Steven? Up next, we had a number one contender for the World Tag Team title match. We had the Outrunners on one side and the Murder Machines, Brian Cage and Lance Archer, on the other side. And the Outrunners won. Truth Magnum scored a roll-up, got the win, and the Outrunners are now the number one contenders for the World Tag Team titles. I think they're going to fight for the belts at Revolution, I believe. Fight the Hurt Syndicate. And that match, it was good. It's a good TV match. I gave it 3.5 bones out of 5. Outrunners, one of my favorite acts. It's good to see they're finally getting up there in the rankings, getting some shots at success. And I will tell you, tonight's show is going to be a little shorter than usual. I'm not feeling that great, but we're here. So I didn't want to cancel it, so we're doing it. And then we have the watch along at 8. Up next, we had a trios match. We had the Undisputed Kingdom. That's Adam Cole, former international champion Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. And they took on TNT champion Daniel Garcia and former world tag champs FTR. And Undisputed Kingdom, they got the win when Cole pinned Garcia with a roll-up. This was a very hard-fought match. Both teams looked great, I thought. Everyone in the match looked great. Started off a bit slow, but then really got going. I sent it to your text. But then it really got going. And I gave this one 4.5 bones out of 5. Very good match. Up next, we had Harley Cameron, who's been on a roll. And she took on Deonna Purrazzo. And this one, standard TV match. Harley Cameron picks up the win over Purrazzo. And another, like I said, a decent TV match. 3.5 bones out of 5 for Harley Cameron's win over Purrazzo. And Steven here says AEW joining with Prime Video, showing live pay-per-views starting with Revolution this Sunday.
That's on our news.
My opinion, thumbs down. Already paying Prime Video a month. AEW ought to give discount, but oh well. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they're just trying to get in front of as many eyeballs as they can, so I don't begrudge them too much, really. Hopefully they'll figure out a more equitable solution in the future. The main event of Dynamite was an international title match where we saw the champion Konosuke Takeshita defend it against former 2-time international champion Orange Cassidy. Excellent match. Hard fought, signature moves from both guys, very fast fighting and wrestling. Just tremendous. Takeshita pinned Cassidy a Blue Thunder suplex, which he calls the Raging Fire. And this match was terrific. 4.5 bones out of 5. And that was the match of the night on Dynamite. And here's K Fabulous. And that's weird.
Our boxes are
Our boxes
tiny.
are very tiny, which is what she said.
There we go.
What they said, rather. There we go. We fixed it. Well, now they're blue. They're fucking like Duke of Blue. That's disgusting.
I'll change that. You can keep going.
Oh, good. Yeah. You know where to go?
I think so.
You got a style.
Yeah.
Okay. Big boxes. That's what the men like. No. The men like tiny boxes. But
women like big boxes full of shoes.
And men just like tiny
Tiny
boxes.
boxes. Yeah. That's my joke.
And our viewers like big boxes full of us. And our opinions. Kay, you got to start being ready on time.
I can't join you when you start because I have to retweet your stuff, and the dog needed water, and the dog needed to go outside.
Come down at 9:20 like when I do, and then you can start at 9:30 or whatever time it is, 6:30. You get there early, so you're not waiting until the last minute.
I live in the last minute.
Yeah, well, it doesn't work. AEW Collision, March 1st, Oakland, California. Excuse me, I'm sick. I apologize. Home of the Golden State Warriors. And we opened up with a big tag team match. FTR, former world champs, taking on former international champ Roderick Strong and his partner Kyle O'Reilly, both of the Undisputed Kingdom. And this one, it ended fairly early when Dax Harwood pinned O'Reilly after a pile driver, but it turns out O'Reilly put his foot on the ropes. The referee went back and reversed this. Harwood said that's not the way we want to win. So the referee restarted the match, and then the match really picked up and became something special. As I said, hard fought. We got to see, each team's repertoires broken out, and eventually Kyle O'Reilly pinned Cash Wheeler after O'Reilly and Strong hit the high-low double team move on him. So Strong and O'Reilly get the win. This match was excellent. 5 bones out of 5. This was the match of the night on Collision, and this is your AEW match of the week. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly over FTR. And Steven points out, right, they were pissed off. FTR left the ring without shaking hands with O'Reilly and Strong. Sore losers, yeah. I don't know if they were mad at O'Reilly and Strong or if they were mad at themselves for acting like dum-dums and restarting the match, It remained to be seen. Up next, we had 1/3 of the World Trios Champions, Death Rider, Wheeler Yuta, and he took on Willie Mack, who we haven't seen in a little bit. Never been impressed with him. And Yuta pinned Mack after a high knee. This is just very standard match. Yuta looked good. 3 bones out of 5. Very one-sided. Not enough to be rated any higher. And Yuta gets the singles win. Up next, former world champ Swerve Strickland, of course, accompanied by Prince Nana. He took on Clark Connors, late of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and everyone seems to love him. Stephen Chambers says Captain Caveman Wheeler is dead meat tonight wrestling Cope. Yes, I think he is. Yeah, I think that's a good bet. And if you'll pull up the Dynamite card.
I already did.
Thank you.
I have Dynamite and I have Revolution.
Thank you. Swerve pinned Connors after hitting the house call. And No chance for Connors in this one. Very good match, though. Uh, Swerve gets the win, 4 bones out of 5, as Swerve is one of the top 3 contenders for the world title right now, and on with his winning ways. Of course, Copeland gets the world title shot, and then Swerve and Ricochet battling it out for. They say the number 1 contender spot, but what they mean is the number 1 contender spot after the pay-per-view. And Steven says, good match, Swerve and Clark. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Up next, we had a trios match. We had Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Moriarty team up with the Infantry, and they are all part of Shane Taylor Productions. They took on Nick Ruiz, Vinny Massaro, and Dave Dutra, 3 of my AEW favorites. And this wasn't anything. Moriarty pinned one of them after a flatliner. And then Shane Taylor came out and he did something, and et cetera, et cetera. Who cares? We had a TNT title match on Collision. TNT champ Daniel Garcia put his belt on the line against Adam Cole of the Undisputed Kingdom. And they were having a very good match. Very hard fought match. And I thought Cole might get the belt, actually. However, it was ruled a draw after Shane Taylor Promotions interfered. Moriarty, the Infantry, and Shane Taylor himself came out and beat both men down. So we got a draw. So you got to assume Adam Cole will probably get another title shot.
Mm-hmm.
This match, very good until the end. 4.5 bones out of 5. Very good match between Garcia and Cole. A lot of good wrestling this week. We had 2 more on Collision. We had a rematch of a. Here, Steven says, darn it, Shane Taylor Promotions ruined the TNT title match. Yeah, they did. We have a rematch of a match we've seen in the last week or two, and that is former TBS champ Julia Hart taking on Queen Aminata. And in this one, things were a bit more even. Julia Hart won the last time. And Aminata pinned Hart after a running boot to the face. Kind of knocked her out with that one. Got the pinfall and the win. Aminata over Hart. Good match. Another hard-hitting match between these 2 women. 4 bones out of 5. I enjoyed it. And the main event of Collision, Johnny says double DQ and no contest, not a draw. Same thing. Steven Chambers says, guessing a triple threat, Garcia, Cole, and Taylor for the TNT title. I could see that.
No, not Taylor.
I could see. I mean, that's the way it looked like it was going. Yeah. If you watch our show, you know I'm averse to triple threats. I don't care for them.
And I'm averse to Shane Taylor.
And I'm averse to Shane Taylor too. That motherfucker sucks. You can tell him I said so too.
That's mean.
Tell him I
Don't
said so.
tell him that's mean.
No, he fucking sucks. Seriously. And that is what it looks like to go into, Steven. Johnny says, hopefully they don't add the TNT title match to Revolution. Yeah, I feel like the card's kind of set at this point. Now, it is AEW, so who knows? But I feel like it's set. The main event of Collision, we saw 2 disciples of the Learning Tree, Big Bill, former tag team champion, team up with Brian Keith, the bounty hunter, and they took on a unusual team of Bandito and former TNT champ Powerhouse Hobbs. And this match wasn't as much of a clusterfuck as it sounds like it might have been. Very good match. Good teamwork shown by both teams. And I enjoyed the Bandito and Hobbs team. I thought it was pretty cool. Hobbs pinned Brian Keith after hitting a spine buster a la Arn Anderson. And Hobbs pinned Keith. 4 bones out of 5. Bandito and Hobbs got the win. And those are your TV reports for this past week. Look at how fast I went through that.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Those are your TV reports. So now, do you have a fashion?
No.
So now what I want to talk about, just real quick, just some quick thoughts. Do you have the Revolution card up?
Yeah.
Some real quick thoughts about the Revolution card. I don't think we're doing our predictions tonight, unless you want to.
We're doing them tomorrow on Dylan's show.
We could do both.
But that would spoil this thing for Dylan.
Okay. We're doing our predictions tomorrow night at 6 on Wrestling the Pod, which will be broadcast on our channel also. And that's with Dylan, our friend.
Do you need them or do you want me to hold them?
Whatever, you set it down. All right. So for Revolution, let's go kind of top to bottom. 0 hour. 1 second here. Steven Chambers says Steven Taylor sucks. There you go. You're welcome. Shane Taylor sucks. There you go. You're welcome. Thank you, Steven. I appreciate that. I didn't say tell me. I said tell him. But that's a start. Johnny says Dog the Bounty Hunter should face Brian Keith. There's an idea. And Johnny asked, how do you feel about Tony versus Mariah being a Falls Count Anywhere? I'm going to talk about it in just 1 second here. I'm going to go quickly through the Revolution card. So we got the 0 hour pre-show. We've got Big Boom AJ, the Costco lover, teaming up with former international champ Orange Cassidy and former Ring of Honor tag champ Mark Briscoe. And they are facing Johnny TV, formerly known as Johnny Mundo, former Intercontinental Champion in WWE. And he's teaming with fucking MXM Collection, who I thought were gone. I hoped were gone. They're not. So I'm sure Big Boom AJ, Cassidy, and Briscoe get the win, but does this, like, should I have even devoted breath to this? Probably not. I mean, Big Boom AJ, it seems, brings eyes to the product, and that's as much as I want to say about it. Steven says, hoping Briscoe gets scratched from the trios match to face Kidd. That would be cool, face Gabe Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we got Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage match. Really looking forward to this one. You know, former 2-time international champ Ospreay is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the best wrestler in the promotion. All around, probably the best wrestler in the world.
I would agree.
He and Fletcher have put on some amazing matches.
This is the match to which I'm most looking forward.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, yes.
Followed by the Mariah May and Tony Storm one.
So are we going to give any predictions or just talk?
I mean, we can give. I didn't make predictions. I can just make them up right now.
Make them up right now?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay.
These are not official.
These are not official. The official ones will be tomorrow after we've thought about it.
Off the top of my head.
Off the top of our head. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who's winning?
The Ospreay match?
Yeah. Quickly.
I think Ospreay, but I really want Kyle Fletcher to win.
I'm picking Ospreay. I don't think it's time for Fletcher's gotten enough big wins. It's time for Ospreay to put himself back up there as the big dog. Steven said he thinks the Costco knuckleheads will win the 0 hour match and picks Ospreay for the steel cage match.
But didn't Ospreay just beat Fletcher in front of his hometown or his home country?
Yeah.
I guess that was a tag match, though, wasn't it? That was him and Kenny. Okay.
So next we have a battle of former world champions, a feud that's been pretty entertaining. MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. Can't keep them apart. Really want to kill each other. Who do you like in this one, Kay?
I have MJF winning, but I am for Hangman Adam Page. What do you think?
I have MJF winning, and I am for MJF. And Steven picks Hangman.
Oh.
Up next.
Oh wait, should I write down?
And like I said, all these picks of ours, we're going to think about them more, and our official picks will be 6 o'clock tomorrow on Wrestling the Pod, or you can watch it here. That will be the real preview and prediction show. We'll talk more about the matches instead of just like who's in it, who do you think's going to win. We'll delve into them a bit more.
Should I be writing down Steven's picks for the?
Couldn't hurt. Up next, we have Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet in an AEW World Title #1 Contenders match. Okay, who do you like in that one?
I was looking through the comments and didn't hear you say that again.
Swerve versus Ricochet.
Swerve.
Swerve, yep. And then we have TBS champion Mercedes Moné defending against Momo Watanabe, defending the TBS title. What do you think?
I think Monet is going to keep it. I don't see. I mean, there's been like no build to this except for her showing up occasionally and carrying a baseball bat. I mean, Billy Starks threw tea in Monet's face, but that's been like the most interaction, and that's not the person she's fighting.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, Moné keeps it.
Steven has said both. Oh, I see. No, I got Hangman. Sorry.
So Steven says, well, I don't understand. Steven says Swerve, and then he said Ricochet, Nana turns heel. So who's winning though? Ricochet? I don't know about Nana turning heel. That would be interesting.
I would be so mad.
Gets the jacket of his friend back and has Ricochet to guide through the rankings and guide to a title. Because he's kind of hit his plateau with Swerve. He does his dance and he comes out and does this and has his coffee, and his character has nowhere to go now.
I'm okay with a character plateauing if that plateau is perfection. You know?
All right, up next, World Tag Title match. The Hurt Syndicate put their belts on the line against the Outrunners. What do you like on this one?
I'm going to say the Outrunners are going to win. Not necessarily because I really think they're going to win, but I don't even want to put it out into the universe that they might not win. So I'm going with the Outrunners.
I'm going to go with the Outrunners. They deserve it. They have earned it. It is their time. Give them the fucking belts. And Steven says Hurt Syndicate. Have you been writing this down?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? AEW Women's World Title match. Toni Storm defends against Mariah May. Falls Count Anywhere match, which sounds like it's going to be awesome. These ladies always deliver with each other. Kay, who have you got winning?
I have my girl, Timeless Toni Storm, retaining. And if it's anything else, I'll be livid. Like I will be heartbroken. Like I might cry. I love her. She's perfect.
I know.
She got her belt back, and like the title reign of Mariah compared to the title reign of Toni, and like her most recent reign, they don't. She can't hold a candle to her. You know, like I want more Toni time. Steven, if you want to throw in the chat, I didn't see where you said Monet or
Momo.
Lady. Yes.
Yeah, make sure you make a pick for Momo and Monet.
What about you, Asa?
Willie says he loves the Outrunners. Me too, brother. What match are we talking about? Toni Storm over Mariah May, no doubt. I don't see them taking the belt from her this quickly.
Yeah.
That character has so much legs, as they say. She can keep on doing stuff with that and keep on and keep on. I mean, what seemed like a one-note joke at first has really shown it can be altered and changed around and made fun of and taken seriously and has depth to it. So she should keep the belt, no diggity, no doubt. One of the most entertaining characters on the roster is Toni Storm. I don't think anyone can disagree with that.
Well, plus she has a new movie coming out, and so that way for people who like maybe don't currently watch AEW, they go see this movie and they Google the cast, and like she comes up as the women's champion for AEW. Maybe they'll tune in.
Mm-hmm. And Steven said Mercedes. He picked.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
So yeah, I'll say this for any viewers who want to get in on the viewer/listener pick contest, you can do what Steven's doing. You can put your picks in the comments here, or you can send me a DM on X. That's at No Bones Wrestling, at No Bones RASSLIN. And then also the prediction show tomorrow at 6, where we're going to talk about things much more in depth. You could get us your predictions there as well. And you can send me your picks on DM on X, anytime before Sunday, really. So there will be a prize for the winner. Johnny said, I thought we were going to get the Hurt Syndicate versus Cage and Archer.
On Collision, they had a tag match to determine who was going to face Hurt Syndicate between, what are they called? Murder Machine and the Outrunners, and the Outrunners won.
Mm-hmm. Willie says, Mariah and Tony make beautiful music together. Yes, they do. And Johnny says, Mercedes is eventually going to lose the belt to Camille. Perhaps. I'm not sure where she's been.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have her back.
Yeah. Willie says, I believe Mercedes will win. Would somebody please teach her a new finish, though? Yeah, her finisher, it's not very good. Yeah.
I agree with Steven here.
Steven says Athena is going to beat Mercedes at All In. That's an interesting way to take it. Yeah. Interesting prediction. So yeah, I predicted the Outrunners get the belts. It's their time. What are we? Oh,
We were talking about Tony.
So next up, international title match: Konosuke Takeshita defending against Kenny Omega.
I'm going with Kenny Omega. I was trying to remember. Is this like his first sort of big match, like solo match back since
Omega
surgery? Yeah.
In AEW.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Omega.
I'm gonna go with Omega too. I don't see the point of the man risking his life and coming back and then you having him lose to Takeshita. Give the man a fucking belt. It's Kenny Omega.
It is kind of odd that they did this very brief tournament to have him wrestle the guy he was going to wrestle initially anyway.
They're just doing something different.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. It was just a little strange.
And Steven picks Omega. And Steven also pointed out Camille had been filming the Queen of the Ring movie also.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That's where she's been. Mm-hmm. All right. Main event of the evening. Unless Christian Cage sticks his nose in things, the main event is Jon Moxley putting the world title on the line against Adam Copeland. Who do you like in this one, Kay?
Adam Copeland.
Adam Copeland wins the belt.
See, the problem is that I'm breaking the no bones about wrestling golden rule, which is never vote against Jon Moxley, because every time you do, you're wrong and it crushes your soul. Mm-hmm. But I just need this to end, so I'm going with Adam Copeland.
Jon Moxley retains the title. Steven says Mox retains. And Steven also says, got a feeling Danielson returns. Interesting. It'll be at some point, so why not now? Sure. I don't think it's happening now, but why not? Johnny says, then Kenny should face Don Callis in a title match. Can be like HBK versus Vince McMahon. That would be interesting. That would be an interesting way to go.
Is Don Callis in the same kind of shape that Vince McMahon was, though?
No, but Don Callis used to be a wrestler, so.
Yeah, but how long has it been since he was in the ring?
Many years.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that would sound cool. Yeah, I didn't know if he had been injured and that's why he stopped wrestling, or.
And Steven predicts, unfortunately, Mox holding the title until Darby comes back. That's kind of what I've thought as well, yeah. Eric Tate says Jay White will turn heel. I guess he means during the pay-per-view. I think the Jay White heel turn is coming, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Steven says it could go either way. Jay White could also turn heel, yeah, just like Eric said. Johnny said, when do you think Christian turns in his briefcase? At this point, I don't know, and I don't even know if they know. I think originally they might have had a plan, but now they've got Moxley carrying the belt around the briefcase. We've got Moxley giving a shot to Adam Copeland. We've got a number one contender match. He's either going to face Swerve or Ricochet next. And I don't know why you would put the belt on Swerve or Ricochet for Christian to come get it. It really doesn't make any sense for Christian to come get it from Moxley. That makes Moxley look terrible. So I think they've booked themselves into a corner, and they're going to have to book themselves out of it until Christian can get his shot. That's the way I see it.
It does make sense, though, for Christian to come and get it off of Adam Copeland. So if Adam Copeland wins it and then immediately Christian Cage cashes in and wins it from him,
Yeah.
then we got another heel with the belt. Adam Copeland is devastated, and then things can go on.
That's not
I
happening.
know it's not happening. Let me dream. Let me dream.
Steven says Kill Switch is cleared. Nice.
Oh,
Good
cool.
news.
I didn't know that.
Could possibly derail Christian's cash in. That would be cool.
Oh my God, yes. Let's put him face again and let me call him Luchasaurus as God intended.
And Johnny says Swerve versus Moxley should be a Texas death match. That would be cool.
Mhm.
Be cool. Some sort of gimmick definitely would fit that feud. And so there are your little too early, very quick predictions for Revolution. And once again, our official predictions and a bit more discussion will be on Wrestling the Pod and here on our channel tomorrow, Thursday night at 6 Eastern. So check us out then. Okay, do you have a fashion segment for us this week?
You have already asked me that, and I said no.
Oh.
And I also told you before we started no.
Well,
I haven't seen the shows this week. I saw half of Collision.
It's an AEW news roundup, courtesy of K Fabulous. And before she gets started, Steven here says Swerve versus Hangman. Winner gets Mox either Dynasty or Double or Nothing. That's a way to go. I mean, that's the thing. We're blessed with so many excellent people at the top of the card. We can go so many different ways with it. And obviously, someone's going to get disappointed at some point that their favorite didn't get booked near the top, but everybody can't be right at the top. But they're trying their best to keep people in the world title scene. So yeah, let's see what happens. Revolution has a lot to do with what we're going to see the next few months. And it looks like a great show. Looks like a fantastic show. All right, K Fabulous with the news.
Okay, we're going to start off with the injury report. I have to move my glasses because I can't see. Eddie Kingston has a torn ACL and broken tibia that has kept him out of action since May of 2024, when he suffered the injury during a match against Gabe Kidd at a New Japan event in California. In a recent interview with Wrestling with the Narrative, Eddie said, "Physically, I feel like shit. Mentally, I feel like shit. So every day, I'm just working on getting better." You know what I'm saying? Physical therapy. It's been tough just to get to physical therapy because of my insurance. I just got new insurance. And then, right when I was ready to start my new PT place, I started getting stomach issues. And I had to wait a long time. They had to do a thing where they put a camera down my throat. It's an endoscopy. It was nothing serious because I'm still waiting for the results. But from the initial thing, he was like, "Look, no cancer, no ulcer, no nothing." Him and my primary doctor were just like, "So how stressed are you?" And I said, "Oh, really? How long do you have? Do we need a therapist to come in here and at least talk?" So they're trying to get me to like not stress out, calm down. So I felt like it was really good to hear the words from Eddie because it just was a nice reminder of like his pattern of speech. You know, he's been gone for a long time. I did not do the voice. I should have had you read that in your Eddie Kingston voice. All right, so that's the only injury report. We do have some roster changes, 3 to be exact. So PW Insider reported on Thursday that legit Layla Hurst, what?
Hirsch.
Oh, Hirsch, sorry. Hirsch's, actually. Contract expires on Friday, so this past Friday, and that she's not expected to return, making her a free agent. It's unknown if both parties came to that understanding. Wrestling Observer has reported that Soraya's brother, Zach Knight, is no longer with AEW. His contract expired sometime last month. And Ray Fenix no longer appears on the company's roster page. Dave Meltzer addressed the news on Monday on X, writing, "Ray Fenix was removed from the AEW's website. The belief is that he was released from the rest of his contract, similar to Starks and Black, and will be in WWE as soon as possible. We had known there were talks in that direction for a few weeks. AEW hasn't confirmed the second part, but the removal pretty much says that." And then on to the actual news. Do you have things that you need to say from them first?
No, go
Okay,
ahead.
cool.
I will point out one thing. Steven shared Sky Blue announced she's not medically cleared ankle issues.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. How long ago was she injured? Do you remember?
No. Months ago.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
So Wednesday night's episode of AEW Dynamite averaged 598 viewers on TBS. That's up 6.2% from last week. It drew a 0.18 rating in the 18 to 49 demo, and that's up 5.9% from last week. AEW and Joe Hand Promotions are continuing their long-term partnership for commercial pay-per-view distribution. Since the promotion's inaugural year in 2019, AEW and Joe Hand Promotions have partnered together to make AEW pay-per-views available at businesses like bars, casinos, and restaurants, including airing at Dave & Buster's locations. It was announced today that AEW and Joe Hand Promotions have reached a multi-year extension of that partnership, with Joe Hand Promotions continuing to be AEW's exclusive pay-per-view commercial distribution, rights partner in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Jamie Hayter. This is kind of like an update on injury, but she wasn't injured. It's just like this is where I am update. So Jamie Hayter made it known that her recent absence has been due to going through the process of renewing her visa.
Mm-hmm.
Hayter was in the middle of feuding with Julia Hart prior to the visa renewal, causing her recent absence. She defeated Julia Hart on January 22nd's episode of Dynamite, bringing their record against each other to a 1-1 tie.
I bought a lot of bustiers and balloons and whipped cream. They gave me a hard time about renewing my visa as well. You really got to watch your spending, people.
You are a giant weirdo. What are you talking about? AEW and Amazon officially announced a pay-per-view distribution deal on Wednesday. Starting with this Sunday's Revolution, AEW pay-per-views will be available to purchase for US, Canada, and the UK viewers via Prime Video. And Saturday night's episode of AEW Collision.
Have a price?
No. Saturday night's episode of AEW Collision went up against WWE's Elimination Chamber PLE. Collision averaged 280,000 viewers on TNT, down 33.5% from the previous week. It drew a 0.06 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. That's down 50% from last week. And
I thought Collision was better than the Elimination Chamber myself. Both were good, but yeah, Collision came through better. Couple better matches. Not an hour's worth of commercials, pushed in there. Both were very good, though, as I said.
do you want me to run down Dynamite's card for tonight?
Let's go for it.
Okay, so tonight on Dynamite, we have Adam Cope versus Wheeler Yuta. We have Swerve Strickland and Ricochet, AEW Revolution contract signing. I love contract signings. You never know what's going to happen. I'll tell you, it's never the contract gets signed. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa, and Hangman in action. So not a lot revealed as to what's happening tonight on Dynamite, unless AEW posted something on X before we started this and I missed it. And that's the news. Oh wait, we already went over the Revolution card. I don't need to do that, right? Okay, cool. So that's the news.
All right, fuck.
What?
I meant to call you fucks, but folks is what I meant. So I want to just a brief highlight on one of my favorite new AEW stars, and that is Hologram. He is 16-0. He is amazing people across the country, as he had already amazed people across Mexico. He was in Lucha Libre AAA. He was in the International Wrestling Revolution group as Aramis. And as I said, already thrilled people. Tony Khan saw him. He's been wrestling since 2010, and so he's not a young man. Tony Khan saw him in 2024 and said, I must have this guy. So 14-year veteran, he's not coming just out of nowhere. And signed Hologram. And as you've seen, his battles with the Beast Mortos, and his feud now with La Facción Ingobernable. Hologram is putting out some amazing content, some amazing moves every single match you see him in, giving the Beast Mortos really good fights, some classic matches already. Um, he's 16-0 in AEW, has not received any title shots yet. And last year, he was ranked number 247 in the PWI 500 of wrestlers, which is an abortion of a rating. But let's just pretend that didn't exist. K Fabulous, what is your take on this amazing luchador?
I honestly like. I might love him more than anyone in AEW, and I love that he doesn't talk, and I love that he doesn't have someone talk for him. And so I really hope they keep that like I'm just going to come out here and wow you and then go backstage and maybe stand next to someone, possibly staring at them because we can't see his eyes, so we're not quite sure. Yeah, I like that he doesn't have a manager. I like that he's just like this awesome dude from the future. It makes me feel like he's like time traveling here just to wrestle and then going back to the future, you know?
I can see that. I mean, the
Yeah.
way they present his gimmick. But yeah,
And also,
just
oh, sorry.
the things he does. I mean, where he'll jump and stand on someone's shoulders and backflip off of them, and then jump through the middle of two ropes and over a rope, and then back through the middle of two ropes, and then catch them with a code breaker or something. I've never seen this shit before.
Mhm.
And I'm no Mexican wrestling expert. I'm far from it, but I watch Mexican wrestling every now and again. I've never seen someone like this guy. He is a phenomenon. And so maybe get back to my question. When is this guy going to get a title shot? When is he going to get some recognition for being 16-0 in this company?
I think it's too soon because I'm not saying it's too soon like he's not good enough. I'm saying he was out with injury.
Yeah.
And so all this like momentum he had built just like fell flat, you know? And obviously people are super excited to see him back. But I think wasn't he injured before the Max deal? So like
Yeah.
Max people haven't seen him. And
Yeah.
so I think they just need to build him back up again a little bit before throwing him right into that title scene. Ooh, but you know what would be cool is if Ricochet wins against Swerve and then somehow wins the title. I would love to see Ricochet and Hologram again. I also one thing I was going to say before, I really appreciate like the Hologram's versatility as far as he can work with wrestlers of such varying size, and his match quality and standard is still exactly the same, which I think would be super difficult to pull off.
Yeah, no, I agree. Um, yeah, the guy is great. And I'm going to answer my own question. When should he get a title opportunity? Um, I don't think it's too soon. Now, I mean, the man is amazing. Reward how amazing he has been, and the crowds are on his side. He's undefeated. Get something going with this guy. Yeah, make him an undefeated champion. Um, something AEW hasn't done, hasn't explored, and other large companies haven't explored really since like Goldberg was an undefeated champion.
Mm.
Now these two characters are very different, but eventually Hologram will get that kind of fan support. I mean, the more people who see him, the more realize how amazing and striking his style is. So hats off to Hologram, and wishing him the best in 2025, and hoping he'll climb up the mountain that is AEW. Steven says he needs the hype man, and says see if he stays healthy first and give him a title match. And says Hologram and Commander will be a great tag team. They would be a great tag team, but how dare you want to separate Hologram, combine him in a tag team, take him away from his singles matches.
No.
This man deserves to be a star in his own right.
What I want is I want like a not BBC, BCC, but with hologram, with Commander, and with Bandito. And if Metalik ever comes back, Metalik, and have like them versus LFI, where they can like have trios matches, they can wrestle in different combinations as tag partners, and they can still have singles runs. Like we've had lots of trios, or at least a few trios groups where there was a singles title held among the people in that trios group. It's not an impossible task. Just because you're wrestling as a tag part with a tag partner doesn't mean that's all you can do. And I feel like wrestling companies need to get more with that idea, like not just lock you into one position.
No, I agree. Got to be careful of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I have one question. And where's this going this week? So the Death Riders running roughshod over AEW. John Moxley is the world champion. Wheeler, Castagnoli, and who's the other champion?
John Moxley?
No, Wheeler, Castagnoli,
Oh, Pac.
Pac
Sorry.
are the World Trios champions. So they all have belts except Marina Shafir, who doesn't wrestle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What has to be done to stop them? Is it a faction? And if so, who belongs in that faction? In that face faction?
Are you asking them or are you asking
I'm
me?
asking
Oh,
you.
oh, okay.
I'm asking you.
I think they kind of like blew this too early. But I loved the starting of the formation of Orange Cassidy being like thrust into the leadership position by the other faces in the company,
Mm-hmm.
like and them like forming a nice support net behind him as they shove him towards John Moxley. I think that would have worked out really well if they just held off on it. Like I feel like they pulled that too fast because I think like Orange Cassidy he needs the title at some point. He has definitely earned it with his international title run, and he has done so much for the company. He's there character wise. He had a good feud going with Moxley, and I don't know. I feel like it was a misstep to do it so soon because I would like to see that faction defeat them.
What faction?
Well, I was talking about basically the conglomeration.
Who don't exist?
Uh, Mark Briscoe on this week's episode of Collision
And Cassidy
talked about the conglomeration.
The two of them are going to beat the five of them.
And Willow.
Three of them are going to beat the five of them.
Well, no, I'm talking about before. That's what
I'm not talking about before. I'm talking about now, in the present.
Now, well, it's Adam Copeland, and then Willow, and does Adam Copeland have friends? FTR, maybe.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I think that sounds good. That combination of people is the most reasonable to challenge the Death Riders, and I think that's who have stepped up in the past few weeks to challenge their power, challenge their winning ways. So, yeah, some combination of them, of those faces.
Especially with Copeland like picking them off one by one, which I love.
Yeah, no, it's been very interesting. The Death Riders versus the faces lately. Who's going to stand up? Who's going to get their ass beat? Who's going to be taken out of action? Who's going to join up? I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the Death Riders versus All storyline. Moxley's promos need to get a little more focused, but I really enjoyed his promos this week. I thought it kind of got the Death Riders to a different place. As Moxley goes, so do the Death Riders. As his mental health goes, so do the Death Riders. If he's in a good mood, they seem to be all good. If he's all pissed off, they seem to be kind of cattywampus. So, yeah, we'll see what becomes of it. But I think that's a good combination of faces to battle the heels. All right, and folks, it is time for the top 5. Your AEW top 5 rankings. Blood, sweat, tears put in these rankings. Insults, names, words that can never be taken back.
Elbow drops.
Elbow drops, computer simulations, and we take the computer simulations and we smash them because we hate computers, and then we kick each other in the backs of the legs, and then we draw on each other with pencils and stick the pencil in somebody's leg.
What is wrong with you?
And eventually we get our top 5 rankings. Where should we start?
Let's start with women.
All right, the women this week. Number 5, she is down from number 3 last week. She lost to Queen Aminata, but still looked pretty good, and that is former TBS champ Julia Hart. Number 4, back in the ranking with that win over Julia Hart, and that is Queen Aminata. Number 3, she's been on a little winning streak lately, and the fans are definitely behind her. And that is Harley Cameron, and her puppets are number 3. Number 2, she gets the world title shot at Revolution this weekend, and that's the former world champ Mariah May. Number 1, same spot as last week, the women's world champ Toni Storm defending the belt against Mariah May. All right, teams.
You didn't run it back down again.
Oh, excuse me. Number 1, Toni Storm. Number 2, Mariah May. Number 3, Harley Cameron. Number 4, Queen Aminata. Number 5, Julia Hart. And in the teams, and I won't tell you where they were last week because every team in the top 5 is new this week. Number 5, the trios team of Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Moriarty and his teammates, the Infantry. Got a win over some jobbers. Enhancement talent, excuse me. Number 4, the brand new tag team who seem to work together well, Bandito and Powerhouse Hobbs at number 4. Number 3, the trios team of Undisputed Kingdom, O'Reilly, Strong, and Cole. Number 2, a tag team out of Undisputed Kingdom, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, as they got the win over FTR. And number 1, they won the World Tag Team title, number 1 contender match. The champions nowhere to be seen this week, not in the ring anyway. And so your number 1 contenders, the Outrunners, they are number 1. And I believe this is the first time they've been number 1, maybe the second. They haven't had it much.
Maybe the second, but I think it's probably the first.
All right, and last but not least, the men. Top 5. And he's battling Swerve Strickland for number 1 contender post-Revolution, and that is Ricochet. Number 4, he got a win this week. I'm trying to think against whom. Former world champ Swerve Strickland. Who do you beat?
What? No, I've
beat someone with the house.
The Clark Connors.
Clark Connors, right.
But you said they're facing each other after Revolution? I thought it was a match at Revolution for the number 1 contendership.
It's the match for the number 1 contendership after Revolution.
Oh.
Who will be number 1 contender after Revolution?
Oh, I got you. I thought you meant the match was after Revolution. Nope. And you're saying after Revolution will be number 1 contender.
Right. Number 3, current international champion, Konosuke Takeshita, who kept his belt in a title match. Who was that he beat? Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, he stays there. He's been there for a little bit. And that is Adam Copeland, who's getting the world title shot at the Revolution pay-per-view. And number 1, he has been there for months. And that is the leader of the Death Riders, the world champion, Jon Moxley. So number 1, Moxley. Number 2, Adam Copeland. Number 3, Konosuke Takeshita. Number 4, Swerve Strickland. And number 5, Ricochet. And those are your top 5 rankings for this week in AEW. And folks, I want to thank you. That is AEW Weekly for this week. It came in at just under an hour. We will be back next week with a longer show. I feel miserable, so I'm glad we had a show at all. But that's why we kept it just a little short this week, 55 minutes. But I didn't want to cancel it, so I didn't want to let people down. So we did it, and I think it went great.
Mhm.
And anyways, a couple things coming up. At 8, we're doing an AEW Dynamite watch along. 7:55, excuse me, AEW Dynamite watch along. That's going to be a different stream, so you have to find a different room. But that's what's going to be called AEW Revolution watch along.
And there are friends joining us for that, right?
Yes, Dylan will be there, and Wolf will be there. And Thursday at 6 will be on Dylan's show, Wrestling the Pod. It will also be on this channel. We'll be doing Revolution picks and predictions with Dylan. Uh, Thursday at 7:50. That's 750. We will do a retro watch along of WWF WrestleMania 4, which occurred at the Trump Plaza Casino. Donald Trump front and center in the crowd, and it was a big 14-man tournament for the vacant world title. So quite a spectacle if you've never seen it. Friday,
It's Eric Tate's birthday, and we're doing a special watch along
we're
for
doing
his birthday.
a special watch along. Did we pick a time?
It's in my phone.
We picked a time. It's on the schedule.
It's on the schedule.
Friday, we're doing an episode of WWF Primetime Wrestling. We're giving up one of our free nights to do this for Eric, so he better goddamn appreciate it. But yeah, Primetime Wrestling Friday night. Saturday night, we're doing probably doing a watch along for AEW Collision at 7:55. Kind of need to play a couple things by ear, but that's the plan right now. And of course, Sunday, 5 minutes before whenever it starts, 7, 8, whatever, 5 minutes before it starts, AEW Revolution watch along, and that'll be myself, K Fabulous, Dylan, Wolf. It's going to be a fun time, and the preview and prediction championship belt will be on the line that Wolf currently holds. And of course, next Monday, 6 o'clock, WWE Weekly with Dylan and myself. 7:55, WWE Raw watch along, and then next Tuesday we are back to AEW Weekly at its normal time, 7 o'clock, and next Wednesday, AEW Dynamite watch along as always at 7:55. If you can't keep up with all that, I barely can. That's fine. Go to our X account at No Bones Wrestling. That's at No Bones RASSLIN, and just scroll down a couple posts, and you'll see a pink and purple and green schedule, and that'll tell you everything that's coming up this week. And if you have any questions, DM me on there because I will answer you. And K Fabulous, you got anything to say?
Yes, I checked, and Friday's watch along for Eric's birthday starts at 8.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, we've never done an episode of WWF Primetime Wrestling before. We haven't picked what episode we're going to do. I have to look and see what's available on Peacock, but we will be picking an episode available on Peacock and announcing it ASAP. So folks, so for K Fabulous, for myself, thank you very much for watching. We love you. We love talking to you. Stephen, Dylan, Antonio, Johnny, Willie, everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. We love talking to you. We love hearing what you have to say, hearing your opinions, and hearing your questions.
Oh, and Eric. We forgot
And Eric.
Birthday week.
Keep it up. And yeah, live long, prosper, use your turn signals. And I will see you in just a little bit at 7:55 for the AEW Dynamite watch along. And a reminder that will be on a different channel. You will have to find a different link than this one, but it will be No Bones About Wrestling AEW Dynamite watch along. And of course, you can just subscribe to us where you don't miss anything. And please click
Mhm.
like on this video. That makes a big difference for
Yeah.
us.
And he means a different stream, not a different channel. It'll still be
Right.
on No Bones Bar Wrestling.
Right,
Yeah.
right. A different stream.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it.